with an update on those that recently tried out for WWE and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Touching on his upcoming match against Samoa Joe at AEW Grand Slam, MJF wrote this on X. Tomorrow I go to war against a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest big men in the history of our sport. A man as intelligent as he is deadly. Beating Samoa Joe at 100% is nearly impossible. Tomorrow I'll be wrestling injured, but I won't be in there alone. I'll be wrestling for the AEW fans. I'll be wrestling for my fellow New Yorkers. I'll be wrestling for my brother Adam. I'll be wrestling to defend my grandest prize of them all, the Triple B. Most of all, I'll be wrestling for this kid with a dream who promised himself he was done being pushed around. Recalling his entrance as NXT champion where he would shove MJF, who was posing as his security guard, Samoa Joe said this to the New York Post. "I always feel like if you're going to take up screen time, at least be somewhat interesting. We were walking down the hallway. He was maybe doing too good of a job trying to clear things out. I put him up into the wall. I think after everyone kind of took a look at it and had a hilarious chuckle, and it ended up sticking around and staying. I think it was close to live. I think it was close to live where we had a little bit of a delay because we were running video packages and stuff like that. By the time it got to the truck, it was going to be broadcast pretty shortly afterward, and they were all about it." For that same interview, Samoa Joe was asked about the CM Punk backstage fight with Jack Perry from All in London, as he said, "For the most part, I haven't read what's been portrayed. There's been so much said. I'm not the one to go out there and try to debunk everything. I know we had the initial incident. Everybody rallied. Everybody got together, got their heads together and lined up and got ready to do the show, and we went out there and we did the show. That really was the focus at that point in time. We got a massive show to do, and we got fans out there rabid to see that happen. So it's important that we step up and do it, and it's important that we did, and I was proud to be a part of that. That's up to whoever perceived it. I'm used to that environment. Those things don't seem very intense to me, but it could be something crazy intense to someone else. I wasn't really affected by that moment. I was more focused on getting the show back on track and getting us going because it was bell time." Speaking about making a return to in-ring action, X-Pac told Chris Van Vliet, "I've been training, feeling good. I'm not saying another big like that, but if I can get a match like a six-man match." Asked if he could return for the Royal Rumble, X-Pac said, "I could do that." Despite CM Punk not being mentioned, Chris Jericho was asked if he thought AEW had improved as a company in the past month, as he told Busted Open Radio. "The short answer is yes. There's also other people that are higher up in the company. We're working together to suggest, and the thing with AEW is we grew so fast. Look at our company now. Look at the infrastructure. I was reading WWE layoffs the other day, and there's people, I'm like, what is this position? I don't even know what this means. WWE has such a huge infrastructure. We do not. We need to grow that. But who's the right people? We've got to identify the place where we need a little bit of growth and go from there. Tony is very organized and Tony's very passionate, but once again, here we are 4 years in. There's a lot of stuff that none of us know. We've never ran our own company before, but we learned a lot from Vince. Tony's Tony, Vince was Vince. You have to work within the boss's system. It all rests in what Tony Khan wants to do. What Tony Khan wants to do is continue to grow AEW. That's what Chris Jericho wants to do. That's what Bryan Danielson wants to do. That's what Jon Moxley wants to do. So we're all working together to patch up maybe some of the holes and continue to build this wall higher and higher and higher. To me, to see that growth so quickly is a little bit scary. We're now figuring out what we need to do to continue to grow. Going over plans that were switched around on Raw, specifically Natalya replacing Tegan Nox against Becky Lynch, BWE posted this on X. Natty's situation was a creative board decision, a token of appreciation for her recent hard work. Becky chose Tegan, but they felt it was not best. Hope this clears the mud. When it comes to those that recently took part in a tryout for WWE, Ringside News wrote that BodySlam.net recently released a list of individuals who participated in tryouts at the WWE Performance Center. There were some notable names on the list. As previously reported, fourth-generation wrestler Brogan Finley was expected to be in attendance. He was among the names on the list, but he wasn't the only notable name. Richard Holliday is a former top star from MLW. He was also present. Ringside News recently reported that his name hasn't come up on the main roster yet, but that could change depending on how his tryout went. The full roster of names includes Copeland Barbie, Davey Gold from Monster Factory, Jay Malachi, who wrestled on AEW Dark, Richard Holliday from MLW, Brogan Finley, the son of Fit Finley, Jamie Stanley, who is a wrestler and NWA referee, Ray Jazz, who has experience in AEW Dark and MLW, Damaris Largo, Holly Hood, Haley J from OVW's The Wrestlers and WOW, Kelsey Hornack, Valentina Rossi, who has AEW Dark experience, and Maddie Rinkowski, a popular name from the NWA. For information on a meeting held by Vince McMahon and others, Ringside News wrote that according to PW Insider, Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, and Vince McMahon were all present and addressed the meeting, which lasted approximately 12 to 15 minutes and was described as a motivational gathering. During the meeting, they assured the staff that WWE's future and prospects were highly promising. The executives praised one another and highlighted the successful merger of TKO and WWE as a whole. Sean Ross Apple added that WWE held an employee meeting in Stamford today with Ari Emanuel, Vince McMahon, and Nick Khan. Ari also introduced his daughter Ashley and noted she works for WWE now. McMahon referred to Ari as his boss and said that the company had stagnated and the deal was to get them to the next level. It was also noted that Vince McMahon said that the company had plateaued or stagnated and the merger needed to happen to take the company to the next level. This gained a lot of eye rolls and reactions within the company, who pointed to WWE touting record numbers. This comment led many to reaffirm their beliefs that Vince McMahon did a deal so he could return to WWE. Explaining his decision to address the firing of CM Punk to a live crowd, AEW President Tony Khan told Insider, "Chicago is home to my family. I grew up in Champaign. I've been going to the United Center since it was first built when I was 11. My family was at the show, countless friends, everyone I grew up with. It meant a lot to go out and speak to the fans and be able to put on a great show." When asked why he did it from the ramp and not in the ring, Khan replied, "You can't see everybody's face from the center of the ring. You have to choose one side of the crowd to face when you're in the ring, and I wanted to be able to see everybody. I felt like I'm not a wrestler and I don't need to be in the ring, and for this moment, I thought I would just sit down and talk to everybody. That's why I brought out a chair. And when I was done and walked backstage, the first person I saw was Ricky Steamboat, and he said, 'That was great. You turn the crowd. You turn them around. That's so hard to do, and you did it.' I felt I at least owed that much to the wrestlers and the fans to go out there and talk to everybody." During that same interview, Tony Khan would be asked about the WWE and UFC merger, to which he said, "It is fascinating. It will be interesting to see what happens in the world of sports, combat sports, and pro wrestling. I love pro wrestling. It's an amazing business. I think there are a lot of really exciting things happening with sports media rights." Sticking with the AEW president, Tony Khan would comment on the rumors of Jade Cargill making her way to WWE, telling Superstar Crossover, well, Jade had a great match on Friday night on AEW Rampage, and it was a great match against Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander retained the TBS Championship on Rampage on Friday night, and I thought that was a great match. Definitely one of the best matches I've seen either of them have, and I thought really great main event for the show. As far as Jade goes, I can't really comment on that, except to say that Jade has been a great wrestler for AEW, and certainly always welcome in AEW. Jade could always be somebody we would always love to work with here in AEW. On social media, Inside the Ropes would ask this question, writing, "What's a wrestling fact that sounds fake but is actually real?" An OnlyFans model, Morgan Holly Moore, replied, "I've had 2 AEW World Champions in my direct messages." She would then post a picture of her in a CM Punk shirt, writing, "My Survivor Series outfit." That event for WWE is set to be held in Chicago, as some are anticipating a CM Punk return there. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.